Hi, this is Charlie from Photocentric, and I'm going to show you a fantastic website that I've just discovered called Picnik.com. It's up here. It's called www.picnik.com, and this is a web-based utility that can be accessed by both Macs and PCs. And what you can do in here is have a lot of fun creating photo negatives, which you can then turn into stamps. So make a note of it, have a play around in it, and have a look at the different effects that you can do in Picnik.com to create your photo negative, ready to turn it into a photo stamp. The first thing I'm going to do, you need to upload a photo, which is this tab just here. And in here, you'll see it takes you directly to your computer memory bank where you can upload your photos. I'm going to take Chance, my friend's horse, and we're going to turn Chance here into a photo stamp. There are many options along the bars here that you can have a play around with. Cropping is quite good if you want to just specifically cut out areas. Okay, you can crop very simply just by moving the box around, grabbing the corners and making it larger or smaller or whatever you want to do. However, I have already cropped this picture, so I'm going to cancel there. And I'm going to go to Create, which is the fourth tab along. And again, I have a host of options which I will let you find out what they do and mess around with. Some of them you have to actually sign up to get the premium version. For instance, putting snowflakes on your frames. To sign up, I think it's $25 for the year, so it's really, really good value. However, it's not going to help me in my making a negative. Although thinking about it, that would be quite good actually. I might have to have a little look at that later on. Alright, we're going to go to Effects here on the left hand side, and a whole host of options appear down the left hand side here. I'm going to go first of all to black and white, and this is what you will also do. The first thing we need to do when we get our photo is, if it's color, turn it into black and white, and it does it very simply. You just click apply, and there I have my black and white picture. The reason we convert it into black and white is so that we can make it into a negative simply. The process with the Stampmaker works on blacks and whites, or something solid that stops the light from going through, and then something clear that actually lets the UV light through to the polymer, which then hardens the liquid polymer. Okay, so I have my black and white picture. Notice how we have no background color. Let's just go back. This is a photo that's been taken on a nice sunny day, and what's happened here is we have excellent contrast between our subject, which is the horse, and the background. Now, if you have a photo where the subject, there is no definition between the subject and the background, you might not get a very good result, in which case I would suggest that you cut out the image that you require to make your photo stamp, and then just place it on a clear background. And there are lots and lots of free tools on the internet that will help you do that, and I've also made some videos to show you how to erase or cut out your background of your photos. So we need a nice contrast between our subject matter and our background, and let's go black and white, and I'll press apply. We're going to scroll down, and there's lots of things you can do and mess about with on your picture. And if you click on something you don't like it, all you need to do is either press cancel or press undo, which is in this top corner. So we're going to go down to these first two, invert. Now this will invert your colors. It would take anything that's black and white and turn it into whites and blacks. So obviously, as by definition, the term invert, we will invert blacks into whites and whites into blacks. Let's just press that now and see what happens. There we go. Okay, so our background has turned into dark, which means that this, when exposed to light, will remain liquid and washes away, and this will be our stamp. There isn't really a lot of definition in the lines here, so we need to create a little bit more definition, and we're going to do that, if I press cancel, by using one of two options. The first one I'll show you is duotone, which is just underneath invert. Click on duotone and you've got the option of changing your picture into a two-colour picture. I'm going to select black instead, black as the first colour, and I will select white as a secondary colour. If I do that, I can then swap them over. Now here we go. I'm going to swap that over one more time, and I'm going to play around with the filters here. You've got a brightness filter and a contrast filter, and as you can see, by sliding them, I'm going to get different effects. That's obviously too white, that's obviously too dark, we're not going to get any fun with that. And we're looking at the positive here, we're looking at what the stamp's going to be like when it's inked up and stamped out. So I'm going to adjust the contrast. That looks pretty cool, I'm very happy with that, and it will be a fantastic stamp of Chance the Horse. So there we have what I would like my stamp to look like when it stamps out. I'm now going to reverse the colours or invert the colours by clicking the button in the middle. There we have our negative. Okay, it's as easy as that. But look how I've got my great definition between my subject matter, the horse, and the background. As I said before, if the horse was on a photograph that had a background in it, maybe some trees, or against a building that was as dark as the horse, then this would not come out as clearly as it's seen here. So do ensure that you have good contrast between the background and the subject matter. Okay, I need to put a border around this. I need a good 1/2 inch black border around the negative before I print it out. So I'm going to do that in Microsoft Word, and there is a video on the website that already tells you how to do that. So I'm just going to save it. Let's apply our duotone, and let's save it as Chance negative, and it'll save it in my folder, which is good. And I'm going to continue editing because I'm going to show you another version of this. Okay, let's undo everything. We're back to our black and white picture. Let's go to create and to effects, which we're on, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm looking for the sandbox effects. Sometimes when you scroll down, you'll find that sandbox effects is closed. Just click the arrow to open it, and what we're looking for is the adjustable threshold. Click on the adjustable threshold, and you can see that the picture has automatically now been turned into blacks and whites, and what we can do is adjust the blacks and whites to get the type of effect that we want. For instance, if we wanted a silhouette effect, what I've done there is I've increased the black, so I've taken out all of the detail, okay, and what I have is an outline of my horse. That in itself is a great stamp, and you can mess about to your heart's content playing with this. Now I'm just going to show you something quickly that you may want to do. Okay, go up to Doodle, and in Doodle, well, let's just apply the adjustable threshold. In Doodle, what I can do is I can brush onto my picture. So for instance, to really make this a silhouette, what I would need to do is brush out all of this detail just here, so it was all black. If I changed the color to black, and I can adjust my brush size, I'm going to adjust it to about there, I can then go in and color out this detail, and you can do this with photos of anything. Let's just adjust that there, look. Okay, so there we have our silhouette stamp. Now, something else you might want to do is create an outline. So what I'm going to do now, and this is going to take a little bit of practice, I'm sure, and probably a smaller brush size. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around my horse on the inside, so that when I make my stamp, I'm going to have the outline of his head you go, just as a rough idea. And that also could be a very good way of making a different sort of effect. And then you could put writing inside there, or do other things. Overlay with some textured vellum on the inkjet, print out some texture and overlay that, and make a stamp of a horse with text on it, or pictures, or flowers, or whatever you want. I like this adjustable threshold. I think you get some really great detailed response from this, and you'll be able to make some superb detailed photo stamps using this. And play about with the whites and the blacks until you get the effect that you want. And the effect that we're looking at here is what our stamp will look like once it's inked up. So what we need to do once we've applied and we've saved our changes is invert, which is the button back up here, and now we've created our negative. Don't forget, we still need to put a 1/2 inch black border around this, which, as I said, I do in Microsoft Word, and have a look at the video if you don't know how to do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to save this as chance negative, and that'll put it inside our folder. And there we have making photos in picnik.com. I really recommend that you get playing with this, have a lot of fun with it. There are lots and lots of different utilities in there to play with, but ideally what you want to be looking at is the black and white, turning it into a black and white first of all, and then playing with either duotone or the adjustable threshold to get the right look. If you're using the adjustable threshold, you will then have to turn it into a negative using the invert button. If you're doing duotone, you can do it just by clicking and swapping the colours, the blacks and the whites over.